Hello, friends. Welcome. Salem Mason Happy Home. Today is Friday, January 17, 2025, and we are 2 days off from the presidential inauguration. And as we look toward Monday, so many people are feeling hopeful for their future. We also have to know and remember that Monday is the national holiday celebrating the life and work of Martin Luther King Jr. So do not forget to say your prayers for him and his family and honor him in some way, the great work that he did. I feel like the last 4 years, I've lived in a foreign country of people that hate Americans and hate white women and hate the English language. And that I've been struggling to get back home to the United States. I feel like Monday is that last lap, that last quarter mile you're running down the streets of that foreign nation that hates you as much as you hate them. And you can see the gates of the U.S. Embassy at the end of the block, and you're sprinting with every fiber of your being, with every last breath, and you are reaching out to grasp the gate of that American embassy. And finally, you reach that gate, and the American soldiers open that gate, and you rush in back home to safety, security, back home to America. And as they close the gate, you look back at this foreign place that you haven't recognized for 4 years as your home. And the home that hasn't recognized you or acknowledged you. And you lift your hand high in the air and give it the bird. I feel that 4 years under the administration that we've had, the wokeism, the chaos that we have had, the wars, the financial crisis, the whole thing, has been like living in a foreign country. It's not my America. It's not my country. Not my people, nothing. But now we're here. Monday is upon us, and if we can get Trump to inauguration and sworn in before someone tries to off him again, you never know. They seem to do that a lot. I am counting on him to keep his promises, because I don't care if he's Republican or Democrat or male or female. I don't care what he is. What I care about is that he's made promises to us, and he better damn well keep them. Now, I get it. He's got millions of people that he has to satisfy. He's got thousands of staff. Congress, the Senate, they all have to agree with him. Everything has to happen in a sequence of events and votes and whatnot. And I get that. I do. But still, that hope is there. I feel like the bars of that gate at the American Embassy are within reach, and I'm almost there. Monday is going to be an important day. But in the wake of this important event, this important moment in history for America, we find ourselves still dealing with wokeism and dealing with it around the LA wildfires. Now, I had a couple of comments I want to make about that wildfire, okay? First of all, poor Hunter Biden lost his paintings in the LA wildfire. Ooh. And he said they were worth zillions of dollars. Well, here's the thing. If your paintings are worth millions of dollars and you are this fantastic Van Gogh of the 21st century, your paintings aren't going to be locked up in storage at your lawyer's house. They are going to be in galleries and museums and hanging on the walls of private collectors. Now, I get, that Stephen King has a vault with piles and piles of stories and books that he's written. And, he has a contract and he's got to write, a book a year or whatever. So when that contract comes up, he goes into the vault, he grabs a book and he hands it over, I get that, I do. But I think paintings are a little different. And I'm not saying whether he's a good artist or not. That's personal choice, really. But boo-hoo, I don't really give a shit about you. I give a shit about the hardworking Los Angeles people who have lost everything. And it appears that these fires may have been negligence by Los Angeles Water and Power, or arson, or both, not acts of nature, so they can't get on that environmental train of theirs. But we're still seeing the wokeism, and I had hoped that by now the wokeism would realize that they're done, they're over with, and get it out of their system and move on. From wokeism to reason. But it's not. We have that dipshit, Bass and Newsom, two dipshits actually, that are sitting there, dancing in the streets and pointing fingers at each other and refusing to lay the blame at their own feet when their state is burning and they're at fault for it. When Newsom was being interviewed by a reporter and he said, "Where's the water? Why are the reservoirs dry?" And Newsom's like, "Well, the state reservoirs are full. I don't know what you're talking about." And the guy's like, "Oh, no. There's that one that's completely dry. That's in LA. Well, we're investigating that. That's not state." Oh, so only state is what you're responsible for? You're responsible for the whole freaking state, you moron. And Bass? That's not even a human being. It's got nothing to do with, her gender identity or her, who she sleeps with or anything. It's got to do with her level of competence, which is zero. She lied to her constituents. She promised them she would not use taxpayer dollars to travel abroad. And apparently she's made repeated trips abroad on the backs of hardworking Angelenos. So she's a liar. A brazen, open liar. Do you know what she did when she cut the fire department's budget by $17.5 million? You know what she did with that money? She reallocated it to open a transgender cafeteria. Now, here's the irony of this wokeism, okay? They demand acceptance, acknowledgement, inclusion, equality. Everything that the Constitution basically covers. But then they do things like make a transgender cafe. So anybody that's not transgender is not included in that. So that's not inclusivity. That's not, part of the DEI. When you only hire lesbian women, you're discriminating against non-lesbian women. when you only hire people or create cafes for certain groups of people, you are isolating everybody else. And that's what you're claiming everybody's doing. So essentially, this wokeism that we've been dealing with for 4 years is about hatred. It's about blaming the white people that are here now for everything that is wrong in the lives of the non-white people that are here, even though we had nothing to do with whatever's happened to you. Personally, and it's a personal choice, if you're a homophobe or a xenophobe or whatever phobe you want to be, if you want to identify with any ism that you want, that's up to you. Do that in your home, in your space, in your own time. But when you are out in public, reason would say that you respect everybody. You don't attack people or make comments or be rude. You just respect everybody. Wokeism is dangerous. It's been proven to cause depression and bring up suicide rates and cause people to commit crimes and do all kinds of terrible things. So wokeism is a term used to describe a set of progressive social and political ideas and movements that aim to address systemic racism, sexism, and other forms of discrimination. Here's a breakdown. Of course, focus on social justice. And I get that. We shouldn't have inequality. We shouldn't have social injustice. We should be, justice. However, what they have discovered is that this is creating a counterculture, that wokeism leads to intolerance and what's known as cancel culture. Cancel culture, where individuals are harshly criticized or ostracized for expressing views deemed offensive by a person or individual or a certain group. Political correctness. Some see wokeism as an excessive focus on political correctness, stifling free speech and open dialogue. Identity politics. Critics argue that wokeism overemphasizes identity and creates divisions based on race, gender, and other categories. And here's the thing. Creating divisions based on race, gender, and other social categories is racism, sexism, all the phobes, all the isms. That is what is created by this nonsense. So we have California burning, and actually the reason really is immaterial at this point. The point is that they did not have the water, the manpower, the equipment, the tools, the training appropriately needed to battle the fire when it started because of wokeism. We all know and hope that Bass gets fired and brought up on criminal negligent charges. I believe Newsom, who should have been watching all of the reservoirs throughout his state, not just the state-run ones, shows his gross level of incompetence. I feel sorry for his children. I think he has 2 little girls or something like that. God, I just feel horrible and embarrassed for those children. He needs to be brought up on criminal negligent charges too, because he is supposed to be watching all this shit. And they need to immediately remove from her post that fire chief that said, if I'm not able to carry your husband out of a fire, it's because he was in the wrong place. You are in the wrong place. But Monday is upon us. We have deadly cold temperatures and high winds headed this way starting today to here in the prairie in the great state of Minnesota. But the warmth and dawn of a new day is coming. And I'm looking forward to it. Not as a Trump fanatic, as a Republican, but as an American. Because we need to turn the page. We need to turn the corner and get away from what we've been dealing with for 4 years. I want to feel welcome and included in my own country. And I'm this close. We are this close to that embassy gate. Because I don't know about you, but I have not been living in America for 4 years. I have been living in some dysfunctional third world mess. That's being torn apart by extremism, by criminals. And I'm so glad to see them go. And until next time, do good, be good, and run. Run to that gate as fast as you can.